but I was just thinking and talking to my driver about something, about how, like we have that ban on, anyone like coming in, like, and it's illegal to come over the border, which that's a whole nother topic in itself, because like, well, I'll get into that real quick before I start this. Like, you guys all know about how right now it's to commit a crime, and now people like want those families reunited, even though they did. And listen, like, trust me, I wish that my son's father could come and be reunited with our family, but that's how it is in America. When you commit a crime, it doesn't matter if you have a family. You're committing you're knowledgeably committing a crime. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic for another day. I wanted to talk about, we never stopped a ban on having like people from Africa come here, right? There's no, I don't know why we have this whole thing going on in the Middle East and all that, when there's like Africa, like there are parts of Africa where kids are like born into extreme poverty and like starving all the time. And there's like, I feel like in that situation, that would be we should work on getting some of those kids brought over here on like school visas, so that those kids who don't have anything and who are starving in like parts of Africa that are really bad, they should be able to come over for sure. I mean, we don't have as much of America, I'm not going to say we because I don't, but America doesn't have as much of a fear in people who live the poverty and what's going on in Africa as they do in the Middle East, whatever. So what I don't understand is how come we can't have like and start helping and bringing in those kids. I mean, I know that with that would come a lot of like disease and stuff that is in Africa, but they could all be like vaccinated and brought over and on school visas and have a chance to go to school, whatever, and start a life. And I'm sure like that there are foster families and people in America who can't have kids who would love to adopt someone, but instead of adopting somebody here, why not adopt somebody over there? That's just something I was thinking about this morning, and not this, just literally right now actually, but I want to know what you guys think about it, because like that's like a topic that nobody really talks. There's always those commercials about like, sending money to people in Africa, like 25 cents a day can change a life, and they do that every year. There's at least 60,000 families a year that are brought here from Kenya and Africa. Are there really? See, I didn't know that, Cam. That's really good then. Did you know that? No, he didn't know that either, and he was from Africa. I didn't know that. I guess a lot of people just aren't talking about it, I guess. Because, I mean, do you live in Africa?
No, I live in...
Where did you? Yeah, so, like, in, like, the Egypt area, but he was, like, traveling around. And even he didn't know that they were bringing people over like that. But I think that's really good that they are. And I think that's, like, a really good focus. What do they do when they bring them here? Vaccinations, I'm sure. They come here with churches and sponsors. That's really awesome. Good morning, Tyler. I think that's awesome. That's really good that they're doing that. And if I ever could get on my own shit, like, and take care of my own family, I think that's the next thing I would do, is adopt a kid from another country, because I don't think it's fair that they're born into such a shitty situation. That's sad. I mean, I know that we have people here that are born into shitty situations too, but I mean, I don't know. And then like, there's a lot I watched on the news the other day, and I know I don't really talk politics on here because it starts a huge fight, but they quarantine them for a certain amount of time when they set them up with welfare and housing. That's nice. Countries should look after their own people before they bring in other people. Well, our country is more than capable of bringing in children from Africa who are, don't stand a chance. Thanks, Joe Nunya. I feel like those kids don't stand a chance. You know what I mean? I do think that we should take care of our own, absolutely. And that's kind of like something. Hey Max, I got your message, but I just didn't get a chance to respond. So message me when I go off here. I'm not staying on long right now, that's another thing. I wanted to ask you guys how you guys feel about, what about all your homeless? What do you mean? Well, where I live in New York, they do take pretty good care of homeless people. They set them up with everything they could. But, like, let's be real, and, like, I was an addict for a long time, okay? A lot of people who are homeless, the majority, are there because of some type of alcoholic or addiction or something like that. And I'm saying that as somebody who was one of them, a part of the homeless community. I saw it all. Like, maybe that's just in my area, but, I mean, when there's kids, like it's just, it's sad to watch those commercials with those kids in Africa who are born into poverty like that, like born into extreme poverty. I can't imagine my kid who's 6 having to go out and look for a job and work, like you know, it's, I don't know, it's like, it's really difficult to think about. It's sad to think about. No housing for them, but they have housing for immigrants. They have housing for homeless people here. In New York, they do. See, I don't know about I don't know how it is where you live, but here it's like, they have homeless shelters that it's almost like living in a dorm. You go to those homeless shelters up here, you get steaks for dinner, you get, like, they set you up with housing, they set you up with jobs. Of course, you have to do work. Like, you have to do the work. Like, you have to go on job searches and prove that you're trying and all this other stuff. You have to get breathalyzed and you can get drug tested. You have to make sure that you're doing good. But, up in New York where we live, like, they do have that. Like, it's very hard. I've been trying to get into a shelter for months. What? That guy got it. Oh no, I missed it. We can only do so much for our own. They have to accept the help and the help themselves. That's very true. It's very hard. I've been trying to get into a shelter for months. You're in Michigan. See, all these other states are different. And like here, I mean, here in New York, like, if you're homeless and you're, like, if you're under the age of 18, they'll call your parents and be like, listen, can they come home? If you're over 18, they'll put you in a shelter, give you bus tickets, make sure you have food to eat, but they will make sure that you're looking for jobs in the meantime. And the other thing that they do is, if you have a kid, they'll even put you up in a hotel so that your kid doesn't have to be exposed to all that. But I know that a lot of states are different. Like, I know a lot of countries are different, but, you know, what I was thinking about, and I watched it on the news, is, right now, actually, I don't know, maybe a lot of people are drawing attention to it now, but this is something that's been going on for years, okay? With people trying to commit a crime, which is illegally crossing the border, with kids. And now, before I go any further in this, I want to let you guys know that half of those people who bring in kids, it's not even really their kids, it's just they're trying to get in illegally, and they're using the kids to get in, and then when they do get in, the kids end up in a really shitty situation. And that's the truth of the matter. That's exactly what's going on. I can tell you firsthand. I know that for a fact. So now, this year, they're talking about it a lot because there's 20% more kids this year than there was last year. So somebody must have spread the word, if you have a kid, you can illegally get into the United States. But then the whole topic of separating families came up, okay? So everybody was talking about, you know, you're breaking up families, but it's not really us who's breaking up families. It's not us who's breaking up families. Like, the adult consciously knew, I am going to commit a crime with a child, and there is a risk that I will get caught and be separated from that child. So they took that risk. It's just like, it's no better than what Trevor did. Trevor committed a crime, knowing that he had a family. He did it, and he's in jail. They're not going to let him out just because he's got a family. And it's same with the people who commit the crime coming over illegally. Now, there's a illegal way to do things, and there's a legal way to do things, and that's always how it's been. You can get a school visa if you're from another country. You can get a school visa. Will protect your wife. Legally, and it was a process here, and it's fine. And now they own businesses and have great jobs. it's instant gratification. Like, you can't just do something illegally without knowing or expecting there to be repercussions. Some people are doing it too and need help legitimately, and some people are trying to find a loophole and do the more shady way. Exactly. And like have you guys ever seen the Mexican death train ride, where like there would be, I suggest Google imaging a picture of that. There would be thousands of Mexicans and with their kids on top of trains, like holding on for dear life to try and get across the border. And it's like, can I ask, is it hard to get, I just want to know, is it hard to get a student visa?
It's a different rule. You have to be older. You can't.
Like, no, I know. So like, say an adult wants to get a student visa to come over. Is it hard? Or it's not easy, but it's doable, right? It's doable. So there is a legal way to do it, you know? So if there's a legal way and an illegal way, like, it's like, you can't, like, I watched an interview on the news and they were saying like, you know, they were talking to somebody who was from another country, and they were like, well, what do you think that we should do with all the people who committed this crime? Just let them go? And then that's a big issue now too, because it's like, you know, if you let them go, you reunite them with their families. Now you got thousands of people in America who are pissed off because they want to be reunited with their families too. You know, like, it's like they're in prison and they got caught doing something legal and they want to be reunited. It's a long process and people don't want to wait their turn that they have to. That's exactly the problem. That's the problem. And like, that's why it sucks and it's sad. Me, I see what they did. I feel so bad for the kids. I do feel bad for the kids, but the adults knew the risk. They committed the crime. They knew the risk. And you know, we're all like in recovery and stuff like that. So you guys know all about how it's the same. You're taking the same chances if you're driving around with, I'm not talking about wanting open borders. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm saying that what's happening is a good thing right now, like, actually. But I think that there's a legal way they could have done it and there's an illegal way. And right now they kind of did it to themselves. Like, just because you have a family doesn't mean it's okay to commit a crime, you know? But that's just how I'm looking at it. I mean, I don't think that, you need to know the laws and what you're dealing with before you commit a crime. Like, if I get caught crossing this border with these kids, what is going to happen to my children or my fake children? What's going to happen to them? And they didn't consider that. Like, nobody thought about that. And it could be, yes, it could be desperation, but you know what? At the same time, they could have taken the time to get a student visa. Look online. There's plenty of broke women around here who would love a husband, wouldn't want money. Wanting to enter the country illegally is wanting an open border. That's not what I'm saying. You're entirely missing what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't want them to enter illegally, and I'm saying that they got what they deserved. Like, what are you not getting? What are you missing here? I just said 100 times that if they're basically what I'm saying is, if they decide to let those people out, America and myself would be pissed. Because I feel like if they're gonna start releasing people because they have families, I'm gonna be writing letters, because Trevor should get out then. In that case, if we're gonna start releasing people after they committed a crime, then we need to start releasing some of our own. Yeah, I'm saying the opposite. I don't know where he got that from. I'm saying the complete opposite, rotten potatoes. I'm saying that I do agree with what's happening. I think that it's sad for the kids, but the adults knew what they were doing, and that's what's fucked up. If they can't get a visa, they can get a MasterCard. You should. That's so funny. I'm not in either side. It sucks as a whole. Yeah, inflation does suck. It does suck, but at the same time, it's like, it's like back, like, a lot of us who are in recovery right now, who are on my channel, it's like going to buy or sell drugs with your kid in your backseat. If you get arrested, now the government is stuck with all these kids and they don't know what to do with them. They don't know what to put them. They don't know who's the real parent. If they are the real parent, they're finding out now that a lot of those kids were not even the real kids of those people. They were taking kids and saying, yeah, this is my kid. We're trying to get into America. They got caught. And instead of a catch and release like they used to do, they're actually catching them and making them pay for it. Like and that's the right thing to do. Like, if you commit a crime, you have to pay the consequences. Whether you have a family or not, that's just how it is. It's how the law works. It's part of the law. If we didn't have repercussions, what would the world look like? Exactly. Thank you, Cam. And I know a lot of people are like, wow, you know, they're tearing families apart. The government isn't tearing families apart. The person who decided to commit the crime is tearing their family apart, or their fake family, because we are finding out every day that most of these kids are not the actual kids of the people who were bringing them in claiming to be their father or their mother, you know? Like, and that's like me saying, well, Trevor committed a whole bunch of crimes, but I think he should be released because he's got a kid. They're not going to do that. No one's going to do that. If we're not going to do that for our own people who were born and raised in America, we're not going to do it for people who don't live here, you know? And I think that this is an eye-opener, and I think this is something that needed to be done, because now maybe it won't be so bad next year. And honestly, like, you know what happens, and this is the truth of the matter, yeah, people do need to talk. It's fight or flight, take the risk. Yeah, but I would never. No, I don't believe in that, because fight or flight and you take the risk. No, I would not take a risk like that with my child. I would not take a risk like that with my child and then get caught and bitch about it. Like, if you want to take the risk, that's fine. But when you get caught, you need to take the accountability and not bitch and say, oh, I have a family, I deserve to be released. If the world in America worked like that, no one would be in prison. No one would be, you know? She always be wearing some good shit, you know what I'm saying? She always got them good ass outfits on. You would think it would be hard as fuck to prove if it's your kid, or if not. I don't get how this works. It's not hard. Birth certificates, blood. They can do a mouth swab. It's easy enough to do a cheek swab on a kid, cheek swab on the parent, and find out if they're related. You know, you can do that. I can do that. Like, you can go online and order kits that are instant. Yeah, Gina for president. I think that honestly, and you know, a lot of people don't know this, but we've been having this problem way before Trump, way before Obama. This has been going on for a long time. But the problem is now that we're not doing the whole catch and release, I think that you probably could, Rob. And you know what I heard? I heard from a source that if you adopt a kid from anywhere, like in foster care, you can get up to $3,000, $3,500 a month. So why can't the borders have a kit like that? That's what they do. That's what they do, and that's how they're finding out that these, like, basically what's happening is they're trying to cross the border, okay? They get caught, all right? They have the parents and the kids. When they get caught, they do the test, and that's how they're finding out that a lot of these kids that they're saying, this is my kid and I'm just trying to get them in for a better life, it's not even their kid, and they're probably going to get dumped right when and that happens a lot too. As soon as they get in, that kid's homeless now, you know, and that's another problem, and that happens a lot. Like, I actually have been following this, like, really closely. But I think that basically it's one of those situations where, you know, you can't just use having a kid as an excuse, you know, because if we all used having a kid as an excuse, no one would be in prison. Like, no one. And you better believe if people start getting released, I'm going to start writing letters to have Trevor exonerated, because Trevor has been an American citizen for a very long time, for his whole life, actually. And that's not fair to him. If we're going to start releasing people because they have kids, well, Trevor has a kid. He should be released. So that's very true. And it's also very sad because people just take children in for the money. Yeah. Hi, Liam. I'm just trying to understand why these people think the way they do. I don't, because you know what? They're trying to find a quick and easy way to get into the country. That's what it is. But do you guys know that it is, like, they want to be able to come into our country so easily, but do you know how hard it is for us to move into their countries? Like,
Who is this?
like they want us to open the borders and let everybody in, but it's not the same fools. Like, if you want to move to Dubai, look at what Gigi Gorgeous went through. You can't, they want us to have an open door policy, while their countries and all these other countries are like, no, we don't want to take you. Like, and you have to go through a ton of shit to move into another country if you're coming from America or if you're coming from anywhere. They want us to be the only open door country, and that's not very fair. Like, it's not. So I hate to say it, but I think what they're doing is right. It sucks for the kids, and hopefully the kids, you know what, and if they are being honest and saying it's all about the kids, I am sure that our government will take care of those kids. They will. We all know that. They're not going to let the kids suffer. They're going to be separated from their parents, absolutely. But they're keeping the kids at a closed down Walmart in Texas. It's gone public now. Over 4,100 boys in this Walmart. Where are they supposed to put them? That's the thing, is like, you know what? And that's the problem. The people who brought the kids over to commit the crime, now, not only are they sitting in jail, but their kids, real or not, are suffering because they decided to commit a crime. I think that the government does care, but I think this is like a holy shit, what do we do? Like, what do we do? Like, what? Like Tyler, or like Joe, like, what do you think they could do better in this situation? Because they do want to keep them all together, because at some point they do want to reunite them with their family. Yeah, well, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm sick of, you know what, another reason I don't want to ever go back to work, I'm sick of paying hundreds of dollars of taxes because of this shit. Like, when I look at when I was working before I became disabled, and I would look at the end of the year at how much money was taken out in taxes for shit like this, that's not fair to people like us who work our asses off, you know? And, like, I don't mind if it goes to kids and stuff like that, and schooling and whatever. But, like, it is going to end up going because other people are committing crimes, just like how our tax money is going towards, right now, that's how prisons are operating. Like, you know what I mean? So, I think that, maybe they can get the shopping carts out of the parking lot. Maybe they could do a little bit of work. Yeah, make some money if they're old enough. You know what they'll probably end up doing? And this is what I foresee happening. I foresee all of those kids who weren't really the kids of the parents going into foster care in America, and then they'll have a better life. That's what I foresee happening, honestly. I don't know, I agree with you, but they should take better care of people with no income. But they're not our people to take care of. That's the problem. Is like, they're not our people to take care of. America's already trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. You know? Like, it's like we're already so far in debt, and now, like, tons of people committed a crime to get into America, and now we're gonna take care of them too. You know what that means? If all of you who work here, your taxes are going to go up. You're going to be making, and it's a sad and it's a shitty situation, because whether you're an immigrant from another country, whether you're born in America, when you commit a crime and you know you're doing it, there is consequences. You know? It's like, it's just that it's sad and it sucks, but it's like, you know, you commit a crime, you do the time, you know, and before they did this illegally, they knew what could happen, you know, and now they're all bitching that they got caught. America's breaking up families. America's not breaking up families. The people who committed the crime did.
I ran in. Listen, I'm away from you guys, but I told AJ it was buy something to eat for your son. Okay? Alright, hot dog.
I know, but like I said, people that have so much money to spread their wealth. Well, I think a lot of people, I mean, I have personally seen, like literally, I hear people all day. Can I repeat what you just said without getting into detail?
What is it?
Like, I know, like, literally, and it's funny that you say that, where was it? I know it's sad, but, like, people that have so much money to spread their wealth, there are people, for example, my driver, my best friend, came over here on a visa, okay? And he helps people as much as he can. With food, with all this other shit, with shit that for people he don't even know, you know what I mean? So I think that people who do have money, I do see them helping. I mean, I see people trying to help, but I mean also, like, in this day and age right now, like, when it comes down to it, like, I need to take care of me and my family. Sometimes they're worse off than the whole situation they were at now they're in a worse situation than they were in before they left. And not only that, it's like, you know, it's just there's a legal and an illegal way to do it. Like those, I'm gonna look up today and do a little bit of research on a lot of our own in foster care have horrible lives. That's very, very true. But, you know, a lot of them don't too. A lot of them, you know what? And their horrible life in foster care beats what they were going through in their country by a long shot. But they might have a little bit of a hard time in foster care here. All these kids coming from the Middle East and all the people who need their countries are getting blown up. They might be better for them than within their country before. Oh my God, Rob, that was a good one. Gotta give you that. That was a good one. He said that addicts in Egypt are in denial. Get it? Like the Nile? Like the Nile. Okay. People have so much money that they'll never use, and that money in 4 lifetimes. I mean, yeah, it's getting worse now. Like, the poverty is getting a lot worse here. I know of old friends that were molested in foster care, but I'd say getting molested in foster care is better than getting blown up or in a country that's being torn apart right now or something like that. You know what I mean? I'd say I would take being molested over being killed any day. Any day. Like, it's just, so the kids that are stuck on the border, that are probably gonna end up in foster care, will probably have a better life than what they did in the country they were in. And the parents are gonna have to just suffer the consequences of the crime that they committed. And when they get out, they can start over. And you know what? Now they probably won't even be able to come back legally. But I don't know. I'm glad that I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on this, because I didn't really want to talk about it for a while because it's a really sensitive topic. Well, I've been molested and I've had more unwanted sex than wanted. Like, that's where I'm coming from. Like, my first sexual experience was at 8 years old. So I know all about that life. And I can tell you now that if it came down to being molested again or being killed and dying, like, I'd take the molestation. And that's coming from somebody, I was abducted. You know what I mean? Like, I went through that. Like, I'm not saying it from somebody who doesn't know. But as a child, I would rather, I don't want to die. I don't want to get blown up in another country or bombed or lose my legs. You know what I mean? You know, kids are molested, end up so messed up, and they have to, that's very, so saying, like, and I'm having like a nice debate. I'm not being angry with anybody, but I would say that those kids coming in and going into foster care, and sometimes there's a lot of people now who can't have kids. It wasn't from people you're supposed to try. Hold on. Because they're molested in them. I know, I went through all that. I was molested and had more unwanted sexual experiences in my life than wanted. So I understand that, Cam, to the utmost. I understand that. Trust me, I do. But I know that at the end of the day, you can overcome that and still be alive. Well, it wasn't from people you're supposed to trust. No, it was from people I was supposed to trust. It was. Actually. There's a lot about my life that you guys don't know yet. There's a lot about my life you guys don't know. And I overcame it, and it made me a stronger person. And as soon, you know, and if you're only in foster care for so long, and it's not like every foster family does that. It's not like every foster family is like that. I've heard some great stories. I've heard some horror stories, you know? But it is sad. But I mean, in the end, really, who brought the kids here? The criminal parents. Like, you know, so it's like, what do we do? Bring them to foster care and hope that they can have a better life? Or what? Keep them locked up in a Walmart? What are you gonna do? Like, you know, I want to see something positive happen with the kids, but the parents do still need to pay for the crimes that they committed. To let them out because they have families, you better believe I'm gonna start writing letters for Trevor's exoneration. I'd have to disagree. I don't know. Like, I was abducted from someone I trusted. My first sexual experience was from someone I trusted in my it was a family thing, okay? But I still, now I'm older, I'm 20, and you know what? Those experiences that I had, it sucked. But I can help other people now. I'm happy. I'm an adult. I live my own life, and I'm glad to be alive now. I'm glad to be alive. I mean, I'm not saying that they should be, you know, I'm saying that we can hope for the best, you know, always hope for the best, but I can't, if I had to look at a 6-year-old in the face and say, kill them or put them in foster care, I would say foster care. Yeah, you know, I could never look a 6-year-old in the eyes and say, no, they should die instead. Like, I could never think of that. Actually, you know what I'm about okay. I'm probably gonna end this for now. And then maybe we could talk about it another time. I hope nobody got triggered. I hope nobody was offended by this conversation. Cam, thank you for, it's so nice to learn something new every day, and learning that we are doing something for, you know, the kids in Africa. That's great. I was really happy to hear about that. And it's nice to be able to have a talk with you guys. And, you know, if we do disagree on things, not that it doesn't turn into a fight or something like that, because I love all of you guys. I think it was a nice chat too. The only thing I have to say is I kind of am hoping that they do decide to release the adults, so I can start writing a shit ton of exoneration letters for Trevor, and I can say, he has a family, I want him released, like, and he can come home. Well, Cam, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into my life real quick, so that you can understand that I know what you're talking about. My first sexual experience was with my mom's best friend's mentally challenged son. I was 8, he was 3 times my age, and it happened upstairs in my bedroom. And when I went to go downstairs to tell my mom, she put me in the back room and told me to wait until she was done with her haircut. That's the first experience. Just one, you know? Like, and there's a lot of things that have happened in my life. A lot of things that have happened. Like, when it comes to rape, and molestation and things like that, I've been through it, but it made me a stronger person now, and I'm glad I'm alive now. If I had to go back and relive it or die, I would go back and relive it, because I'm alive now and able to help people who have been through it. Now I can use what I have and use what I went through to be able to help other people, and that's something that's amazing. You know, I was like strong enough to deal with it on my own. Yeah. And then when I was, after that, I got abducted by somebody who was a very close person. My family knew them. I was abducted when I was just a teenager. And I got raped, passed around a house in Schenectady to 4 different people, got the shit kicked out of me. I've had multiple situations like that, multiple, all the time, you know, to the point where I wanted to die too. But now I'm over it, went to counseling. But you know, yeah, I don't know. I just hope that these families, I'm feeding the animals at my mom's house because they didn't take them yet. Yeah, I went through a lot of shit. But, like, even now, just last year, I was raped again in the ass. And, it was horrible. But I choose that over death because we already have such a short life. I'm gonna go though. I gotta feed my pets and get out of here. And I will. Too much stairs. Talk to you guys later today. I love you all so much. Don't be sorry because it made me who I am now, and now I can help other people. I'm happy. I'm not happy for what I went through, but I'm not mad anymore. You know, people are sick. It is what it is. You know, at least, and I'm alive to be able to help other people. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta feed these pets and go. Bye, guys.